If you often find yourself alone, struggling to make friends or connect with a partner, there may be a deeper reason behind it. The truth is, you carry a powerful light within you. You're intelligent, self-aware, and radiate authenticity. And that kind of energy naturally repels those who are still living in darkness or hiding parts of themselves. Your presence has a way of exposing what others would rather keep hidden. In this video, we're going to dive into 7 powerful reasons why chosen ones often experience seasons of loneliness or find themselves single. Many chosen individuals walk through life without close friendships or romantic partners, not because there's something wrong with them, but because the light they carry is too much for people who aren't ready to face the truth. Authenticity is rare, and when you live in it boldly, it makes people uncomfortable, especially those who are wearing masks. So don't be surprised if some people distance themselves from you. It's not rejection. It's spiritual recognition. It's spiritual recognition. Your light exposes people, even those you've never spoken to. They can feel your energy the moment you walk into a room, and often, without even understanding why, they pull away. It's not personal, it's spiritual. When your presence carries truth, it naturally stirs something in others. That's especially true when it comes to relationships. Things can become even more complicated because your energy doesn't just enter a space, it shifts it. All living beings, humans included, respond to vibrations and frequencies, and you, as a chosen one, emit a frequency that doesn't just blend in, it transforms. People sense that. Some are drawn to it, but many feel overwhelmed or even threatened by it. They may not be able to explain it, but your energy causes them to feel exposed, like a light suddenly turned on in a dark room. As you continue to grow spiritually and raise your vibrational frequency, your awareness expands. You start noticing things you never did before. People's true intentions, the energy behind their words, and the atmosphere in a room. Along with that, your tolerance for superficiality or negativity starts to fade. You simply can't unsee what you now see. As you grow spiritually and emotionally, your tolerance for drama and negativity naturally decreases. You begin to realize that protecting your peace is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. With that realization, it becomes clear that not everyone can stay in your life, no matter how close they may be. This includes friends, family, and even romantic partners. If someone consistently disturbs your peace, they can't have a seat at your table. You become more intentional about who you spend your time with. Your energy is precious, and you stop giving it away to those who don't value or respect it. As a result, your inner circle may grow smaller, but that's a good thing. The people who remain are the ones who truly honor your spirit and support your growth. They bring calm, not chaos. They uplift, not drain. This is a process of refinement, a spiritual purification. You're learning to surround yourself only with people who contribute positively to your journey, those who add light to your life rather than take from it. And here's the truth. Many powerful, gifted people walk alone, not because they're lacking, but because their energy is rare. Their path requires solitude, strength, and deep alignment. Being alone doesn't mean you're broken. It often means you're being set apart for something greater. You are a powerful individual, but you often find yourself walking alone. Not because something is wrong with you, but because you were never meant to blend in with the world's norms. You operate on a higher frequency, one that doesn't conform to the usual patterns of this system. People who carry that kind of light, who are truly awakened, often feel like outsiders, and that's because you're not here to fit in, you're here to shift the atmosphere. This world isn't designed for those who see beyond the surface, but that's why it's so important to adopt a higher perspective. When you begin to see life through a spiritual lens, you realize that nothing, no hidden agenda, no mask, can remain in the presence of true light, and that's the kind of energy you carry. So I encourage you to stay with me until the end of this message. Because the 7 reasons we're about to explore are not just explanations, they are keys. Keys that will unlock deeper self-awareness and guide you toward your spiritual evolution. You're not just alone. You're being refined, elevated, and prepared for something greater. Learn how to turn your season of loneliness into a season of growth and transformation. Learn how to attract relationships that align with your soul, not just your situation. Let's start with the first reason chosen ones often find themselves single or isolated. One of the main reasons many chosen ones find themselves walking alone is because too many people around them end up draining their energy. When you carry a unique and powerful energy, when you're truly set apart, your light becomes magnetic. People are naturally drawn to you, whether they fully understand why or not. But here's the challenge. Not everyone is equipped to match your frequency. Your energy may lift them, inspire them, or give them hope, but if they're not spiritually aligned, they won't be able to pour back into you. This creates an imbalance, one that can leave you feeling mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually exhausted. Sometimes the people closest to you, family, friends, even romantic partners, can unknowingly feed off your energy. They love being around your light, your peace, your joy. But they don't realize they're pulling from your well without ever helping to refill it. Over time, that kind of one-sided exchange becomes too much to carry. So what happens? You start to pull back. You begin to set boundaries, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. You realize that protecting your energy isn't selfish, is necessary. You weren't created to run on empty while keeping everyone else full. This season of solitude might just be God's way of restoring you, of reminding you that your energy is sacred, and only those who can honor it deserve to be close to it. This constant drain on your energy can take a real toll, not just on your body but on your soul. It becomes incredibly difficult to maintain deep, meaningful, and lasting relationships when you're always the one giving, supporting, and uplifting everyone else. For chosen ones, finding someone who not only sees your light, but brings their own light to the table is rare. You're not looking for perfection. You're looking for alignment, someone who matches your frequency, someone who doesn't just take from your energy but contributes to it, someone who can walk beside you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, offering the kind of support that nourishes rather than depletes. That kind of partnership is powerful, but also hard to find. Because of this, many chosen ones end up choosing solitude, not because they don't want connection, but because they'd rather be alone than entangled in relationships that drain them. It's not loneliness, it's protection. It's the wisdom to wait for something real, something mutual, something rooted in shared purpose and spiritual alignment. When you understand your worth and value your peace, you become highly selective with who you allow into your space. And that's not a weakness, it's strength. It means you've matured enough to recognize that your energy is precious, and you're no longer willing to pour it into people who can't pour back. Rather than settling for a relationship that drains them or fails to truly nourish their soul, many chosen individuals choose to remain single. It's not because they don't want love, but because they understand that true partnership requires more than just affection. It requires spiritual alignment and mutual energy exchange. The universe in its wisdom calls for a companion who doesn't merely soak up your light but reflects it back. Someone who adds to your energy, uplifts your spirit, and matches your frequency. But let's be honest, that kind of partner is rare. That's why so many chosen ones often find themselves walking alone. Not because they're not deserving of love, but because they're waiting for a connection that's truly divine, one that brings balance, harmony, and growth. And during this waiting season, it's not about sitting idle. It's a sacred time meant for inner work, for deepening your faith, developing your gifts, and becoming the strongest version of yourself. The more you grow, the more you attract someone who is equally whole and aligned with your purpose. So focus on your healing, your spiritual maturity, and your personal growth, because the right person will come at the right time, when you are fully ready to receive and reciprocate the love you've been prepared for. The second reason many chosen ones often find themselves alone or single is because very few people are truly capable of supporting them in a meaningful way. Chosen individuals carry a deep emotional and spiritual depth that most people simply cannot grasp or relate to. They have a unique ability to uplift others, offering wisdom, comfort, and guidance during times of hardship. Their presence is often a source of strength and clarity for those around them. However, when it comes to receiving that same kind of support in return, things tend to look very different. The chosen are usually the ones who give. They pour into others generously, often without asking for much. But when they themselves are in need, when they're feeling overwhelmed or low, it's rare to find someone who can match their energy or meet them on the same emotional and spiritual level. As a result, many chosen ones learn to turn inward. They draw strength from within, from solitude, and from their relationship with God or a higher power. Because the external world often doesn't offer them the depth of support they need, they become their own source of motivation and healing. This inward journey is one of the reasons why they often walk alone, not because they want to, but because so few are equipped to walk beside them. Most people simply don't have the capacity to offer the same level of support and deep understanding that chosen ones so naturally give to others. And this imbalance often creates a quiet, isolating journey. Even when success begins to unfold, when their talents are recognized, their work is celebrated, and their presence is admired, they can still feel profoundly alone, surrounded by people, yet unseen. Admired, but not truly known. Why? Because most individuals aren't equipped to meet them at the depth where they live emotionally and spiritually. Chosen ones feel life on another level, process the world through a lens of purpose and divine awareness, and carry responsibilities that others may never fully comprehend. This kind of spiritual and emotional isolation can be painful. It can leave them feeling disconnected, even in the midst of praise or popularity. But within that solitude lies a powerful opportunity, a chance for growth, clarity, and self-discovery. In these quiet seasons, the chosen ones learn to rely not on the approval of others, but on their own inner strength. They develop a resilience that doesn't come from being surrounded by support, but from rising in the silence when no one else is clapping. They begin to recognize that their path is unique and divinely guided, and that being set apart is part of their calling, not a punishment. The truth is, very few people can offer the same depth of support and guidance that chosen ones so often give to others. That's why finding kindred spirits, other enlightened souls who truly get it, can take time. But for the chosen, these meaningful and spiritually aligned connections are essential. They aren't just a luxury, they're a lifeline for emotional well-being and spiritual growth. Because of this, many chosen ones choose solitude over shallow companionship. They would rather walk alone than be surrounded by people who can't meet them where they are spiritually or emotionally. They wait, not out of arrogance, but out of deep knowing. They wait for people who can support them with the same strength, clarity, and authenticity they so freely offer to others. And then there's the third reason why so many chosen ones remain single or alone: the journey of inner healing. To be chosen often means you've endured more than most. It means you carry wounds, deep, soul-level scars, from past experiences, betrayals, losses, or traumas. These experiences didn't break you, but they did shape you. And now healing is part of your divine assignment. This healing process requires solitude, not loneliness, but intentional space, time to confront the pain, to release old patterns, and to rebuild from within. The chosen often realize that before they can truly connect with someone else in a deep and healthy way, they must first reconnect with their own wholeness. This season of singleness isn't a curse. It's a sacred space where true transformation happens. It's where brokenness turns into wisdom and wounds become portals of strength. Many chosen ones carry deep wounds rooted in childhood, traumas that haven't yet been fully healed. These early experiences often leave behind emotional blockages that make it difficult to form deep, lasting, and intimate connections with others. It's not that chosen ones are incapable of love or partnership, but rather that their hearts have been shaped by pain that still needs to be addressed. When the soul is marked for divine purpose, healing becomes non-negotiable. And in seasons of spiritual transformation, especially during times of global energy shifts and spiritual ascension, The universe calls them to go inward and face what's been buried. During this process, old wounds from childhood or other past painful experiences can resurface. Emotions long suppressed may rise unexpectedly. Memories they thought were behind them suddenly feel present again. It's not a regression, but a divine invitation to heal at a deeper level. These moments can feel overwhelming, but they're necessary. The healing journey is sacred. It requires stillness, space, solitude, and that's why so many chosen ones remain alone during this time, not because they are unworthy of love, but because their soul is preparing them for love that is pure, whole, and aligned. Before the right relationships can enter, the heart must be cleared of the residue from past pain. These seasons of isolation are not punishments. They're part of the preparation. It's in this sacred work that chosen ones learn to trust themselves again, to forgive, to let go, and to rise from the ashes of their own past. Healing isn't always beautiful, but it is necessary, and through it, chosen ones are being refined into the vessels they were always meant to be. Spiritual growth is a powerful and transformative journey, but let's be honest, it can also be incredibly challenging and deeply lonely. For many chosen ones, this path comes with a heightened sensitivity. They don't just see or hear the world, they feel it. Like emotional sponges, they absorb the energies of people and environments around them, often without even realizing it. This intense sensitivity means they have a greater need for safety, stability, and emotional security. Especially during times of healing. They crave an environment where they can truly let down their guard, be vulnerable, and process their inner world without external noise or interference. And that's why solitude becomes so essential. Being alone isn't a curse, it's a sanctuary. It creates the space for real introspection and deep self-discovery. In that quiet, the chosen ones are able to confront the parts of themselves they've kept hidden. Even from themselves, they face their shadows, unpack their pain, and begin to transform their wounds into wisdom. What once hurt them becomes the very thing that strengthens them. But let's not sugarcoat it. This healing season can feel painfully isolating. When you're doing deep inner work, it often feels like no one truly understands what you're going through. Friends may drift, relationships may end, and the silence can be deafening. But within that silence, something sacred happens. The soul begins to rebuild. For the chosen ones, this isolation isn't without purpose. It's a cocoon, a holy pause, a sacred season where healing turns into growth and pain becomes power. Though the road may be walked alone, it leads to a version of themselves that is whole, grounded, and ready to step fully into their calling. The journey of inner healing is deeply personal, and the truth is, not everyone around a chosen one will be able to grasp just how intense or profound that process really is. But even though this season of isolation can feel heavy and lonely, it's not meant to last forever. In fact, it serves a divine purpose. This time apart is preparing the chosen ones for something greater, healthier, more balanced and spiritually aligned relationships in the future. As they work through old wounds and let go of emotional baggage, they grow stronger and more in tune with their true identity, their divine essence. And with that newfound alignment comes a shift in their energy, raising their frequency and attracting people who genuinely resonate with who they've become. That's why this period of healing is so important. It's not just necessary, it's unavoidable. It's one of the core reasons why so many chosen individuals find themselves walking alone for a season. The solitude isn't a punishment. It's a process of transformation, one that clears the way for deeper love, more meaningful connections, and relationships that honor who they truly are. Many chosen ones often find themselves walking alone during this chapter of their lives because the type of relationship their soul needs doesn't come quickly. It takes time to manifest. This is the fourth key reason why they frequently remain single. Chosen individuals carry a high level of energy and spiritual vibration, which means that any meaningful connection they form must also resonate on that same elevated frequency. They simply can't form deep, lasting bonds with people who don't share their emotional and spiritual depth. Shallow conversations, surface-level relationships, and mismatched energies drain them rather than uplift them. Because of this, chosen ones can't settle for relationships that aren't aligned with their purpose or soul's calling. They need a partner who can match their vibration, someone who not only understands their journey but also walks a similar path of growth and inner work. And finding that kind of person is rare. It's not about perfection, it's about resonance. Until such a connection appears, they often prefer solitude over settling for anything less than what their soul truly deserves. Finding someone who truly resonates with a chosen one is a journey that cannot be rushed. It takes time for the universe to align the right circumstances and bring into their life a partner who operates on the same level of consciousness. Someone who can provide the emotional, spiritual, and energetic support they genuinely need. This quest for deep compatibility is what makes the waiting period both challenging and necessary. During this time, chosen ones are often called to focus on their personal growth and development. They're given the opportunity to get to know themselves on a deeper level, to explore their passions, and to strengthen their connection with their inner being. It's a sacred season of preparation, not just for a healthy relationship, but for becoming the most authentic and powerful version of themselves. Growth and alignment is sacred. It ensures that when the chosen one and their destined partner finally meet, they are both spiritually mature, emotionally grounded, and ready to support each other's purpose. Strengthening their connection with the divine during this season of solitude is essential. It allows the chosen ones to become more attuned to their higher calling and more discerning about the relationships they allow into their lives. Trying to force or rush into a relationship before this inner work is complete often leads to connections that are shallow, imbalanced, or even draining. That's why this time of waiting is not a punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe's way of protecting both individuals and ensuring that the foundation of their future relationship is built on truth, mutual respect, spiritual depth, and divine timing. So while it may feel lonely at times, this period is actually a gift, a sacred space to become the kind of person who attracts and sustains a love that mirrors the divine connection already being cultivated within. That their solitude is not in vain. Preparation is not simply about waiting, it's about becoming. It's about developing the emotional maturity, spiritual awareness, and inner strength necessary to build a relationship that goes beyond the surface and into the realm of the sacred. For the chosen ones, patience isn't just a virtue, it's part of the divine plan. This season of singleness is a refining fire, purifying their intentions, elevating their standards, and making them more attuned to what truly matters. During this time, the universe is orchestrating behind the scenes, aligning timelines, transforming hearts, and removing what no longer serves them, so that when the right person enters, there is no confusion, only clarity, harmony, and purpose. So yes, the journey can feel long and lonely, but it is filled with divine purpose. The hope lies in knowing that what is being prepared is far greater than anything rushed or forced. The chosen ones are not alone because they are unworthy of love. They are alone because they are being prepared for a love that is rare, deep, and destined. Here's a rephrased version in natural, expressive American English. A genuine and meaningful relationship is in the future, but getting there often requires a season of healing. One of the key reasons many chosen ones remain alone or single is because they've been deeply hurt in the past. The emotional wounds they carry run deep and don't heal overnight. These past experiences have left behind scars that are not easily erased, making it hard for them to fully trust others or open up in relationships. For many chosen ones, the pain has caused them to put up emotional walls, not because they don't want love, but because they're trying to protect themselves from getting hurt again. This self-protection often comes after experiencing betrayal, abandonment, or rejection. These wounds might have come from romantic relationships, family dynamics, broken friendships, or even painful moments in childhood. Whatever the source, the result is the same: a cautious heart that's learned to guard itself closely, even if it longs for connection, from forming. Because chosen ones are naturally sensitive and empathetic, they don't just experience pain, They absorb it. Life's difficult circumstances hit them harder and stay with them longer. These emotional wounds often linger beneath the surface, shaping how they view relationships and the people around them. As a result, many chosen ones develop subtle, or sometimes strong, defense mechanisms. Without even realizing it, they may build emotional walls to shield themselves from more pain. These self-protective patterns are a way of coping, a response to being hurt too deeply too often. But while these defenses may keep them safe, they also make it harder to allow new, genuine connections to take root. This is one of the reasons why chosen ones can feel isolated or remain single, not because they're incapable of love, but because they've learned that love sometimes hurts. Until healing has taken place and trust is rebuilt, it's difficult to fully let someone in. Past emotional pain can often create hesitation when it comes to forming deep emotional connections, leading many chosen ones to experience extended periods of solitude. These individuals may be reluctant to open their hearts again, fearing a repeat of the hurt they've endured. The path to healing these emotional wounds is not simple. It's a layered and often lengthy process that demands patience, commitment, and inner strength. For the chosen ones, this healing journey requires intentional time devoted to self-awareness and self-acceptance. They must confront the pain they've been carrying, work through it, and ultimately release it. This process may include therapy, meditation, prayer, journaling, or other spiritual disciplines that help them reconnect with their inner truth. At the heart of it all is a deep, personal inner journey, a courageous exploration of one's emotional and spiritual terrain. It's not easy, but it's necessary for growth and transformation. During this period, solitude becomes a double-edged sword. On one side, it offers a sacred and quiet space for reflection, healing, and clarity, a time to reconnect with one's soul. On the other side, it can feel isolating and heavy, especially when the desire for companionship still lingers. Yet even in this loneliness there is purpose. It is in this quiet season that true restoration begins, preparing the chosen ones for future relationships rooted in authenticity, understanding, and emotional wholeness. Being alone, while challenging, creates the essential space the chosen ones need to confront their inner wounds, without the noise or distractions that often come with relationships. Solitude provides a sacred container where deep emotional work can take place, a place where the pain can be felt, processed, and ultimately transformed. However, this season of healing is not without its difficulties. It can be marked by intense vulnerability and deep introspection, often without the comfort of external support or understanding. This process is critical. Without it, the emotional residue of past wounds can unconsciously sabotage future relationships. The chosen ones must walk through this season intentionally, learning to understand the patterns shaped by past hurt and gently replacing them with new life-giving beliefs and behaviors. Healing from emotional pain is not just about feeling better, it's about becoming whole. When chosen ones fully engage with their healing, they create space within themselves to welcome a partner who can truly meet them where they are. Someone who understands and honors the spiritual and emotional depth they bring into a relationship. Only from a place of wholeness can they open their hearts again, not out of desperation, but from a place of strength, clarity, and peace. It is in this healed state that they become magnetic to the kind of connection that mirrors their growth. Deep, respectful, and rooted in mutual understanding. Times of aloneness as a sacred space for transformation. When you're chosen, your life isn't meant to follow the usual path. You're being set apart, not to punish you, but to prepare you for something extraordinary. The sixth reason many chosen ones remain single or alone for a season is because they are being prepared for a calling that goes beyond the ordinary. This solitude is a refining fire. It's where your character is molded, your faith deepened, and your spiritual senses sharpened. It's in this quiet, undisturbed space that you are aligned with your higher purpose. The universe, or God, is working behind the scenes, removing distractions, realigning your desires, and instilling within you the strength, clarity, and discipline needed to walk out your destiny. During this time, your vision becomes clearer. You're given insight, wisdom, and revelations that wouldn't be possible if you were constantly surrounded by others. Relationships, while beautiful, require energy and emotional investment. But when you're in preparation mode, that energy needs to be directed inward to build you, to grow you, to ready you for what's next. So if you find yourself walking alone, know that it's not because you are unworthy of love. It's because love, in its most powerful and divine form, is being prepared alongside your purpose. When the time is right, both will align. Until then, solitude is not your enemy. It is your training ground. These seasons of solitude are opportunities for you to deepen your connection with the divine, sharpen your abilities, and build emotional and spiritual resilience. Without the distractions or demands that often come with relationships, you're free to pour your energy into your own personal and spiritual development. This is your time to reflect, to discover more about who you truly are, and to explore the passions that stir your soul. It's a chance to strengthen your faith and gain clarity about your path in life. Solitude also creates space for you to align more closely with your true self and your divine purpose. This alignment is essential. It ensures that when your moment comes to step fully into your calling, you're ready to do so with clarity, confidence, and strength. During this season, you might find yourself shedding old patterns, letting go of past distractions, and embracing a deeper sense of purpose. During this period of solitude and inner focus, you may begin to receive powerful insights and spiritual revelations about your life's direction and divine mission. Truths that may have been hidden or clouded by the constant noise and presence of others. It's in the stillness that your spiritual ears become attuned and your soul becomes sensitive enough to discern the deeper call on your life. Another critical aspect of this sacred preparation season is the need to become energetically aligned and ready to step into the next phase of your journey. You are being called to a higher version of yourself, and this requires clarity, strength, and focus. Qualities that are best cultivated in moments of solitude, away from distractions, confusion, or emotional entanglements. But this season isn't only about your own growth. The universe is simultaneously working behind the scenes to prepare those who are meant to walk alongside you. Your future partner, kindred spirits, divine connections, and spiritual allies are each being refined and aligned in their own journeys. They too are learning, healing, and evolving so they can meet you at the same frequency, whole, aware, and ready to support and grow with you. When the time is right, when both you and those destined to be part of your path are fully aligned in spirit, mind, and heart, the universe will orchestrate the perfect meeting. It won't be rushed or forced, but it will unfold naturally and divinely, bringing with it confirmation, peace, and purpose. So during this time, remain patient and open. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Use this waiting period not with frustration, but with faith, knowing that you are being positioned for something extraordinary, something that will align perfectly with your soul and destiny. When the right moment arrives and everyone involved has reached the necessary level of personal and spiritual readiness, the connection will come together in a powerful, meaningful way. One where each person is equipped to genuinely support the genuinely support other. But until then, solitude plays a critical role in preparing you. It serves not just as a space for waiting, but as a training ground for emotional independence. Learning how to be happy, whole, and content on your own is a major part of your journey. It allows you to build an unshakable foundation of self-worth and self-love. This foundation is essential because it ensures that when you do enter into a relationship, it won't be out of emotional need or dependency. Instead, you'll come into it as a complete and confident individual, ready to give and receive love in a way that is balanced, mature, and emotionally healthy. One of the more complex reasons why many chosen ones remain single or walk through seasons of solitude is this. The depth of their soul is not something everyone can handle, understand, or even tolerate. This brings us to the seventh reason why the chosen often find themselves alone. When you're chosen, you carry within you a rare and profound spiritual insight, a depth of understanding that goes far beyond the surface level of life. You see things that others miss. You recognize patterns, feel the weight of energy in a room, and discern truth without needing it spoken aloud. This level of wisdom and spiritual maturity can be intimidating to those who have not yet awakened to such depths within themselves. You naturally perceive what lies beneath the surface, people's true intentions, hidden wounds, and unspoken thoughts. While this gives you a powerful sense of intuition and discernment, it can also make others feel exposed or uncomfortable. Many people are not ready to be truly seen. They prefer relationships that remain on the surface, where difficult truths are avoided and depth is unnecessary. But it is also the reason why your path may be lonelier than most. You weren't meant to fit into shallow spaces or settle for relationships that don't match your essence. You are being set apart for something greater, something aligned, sacred and true. So while the solitude may be hard at times, it is also sacred. It is clearing the way for the kind of connection your soul truly deserves. People often feel exposed and vulnerable in your presence, not because of anything you've done, but because they sense that you can see right through them, beyond the masks they wear, beyond the personas they present to the world. Your very presence has a way of illuminating what others might be trying to hide, even from themselves, and for many, that kind of transparency feels too raw, too confronting. Rather than facing their own inner truths, they pull back, keeping their distance to protect their comfort zones. This is another reason why the chosen ones frequently find themselves alone. Your depth is not just spiritual, it's also emotional and psychological. You're wired to seek meaningful connections that go far beyond the surface. Shallow relationships and small talk don't fulfill you. In fact, they often leave you feeling more isolated than being physically alone. You long for conversations that carry weight, for connections where vulnerability is welcomed and honesty is natural. You desire to share your soul, to talk about your ideas, your feelings, your purpose, without fear of being misunderstood or dismissed. But here's the truth. Not everyone is ready for that level of realness. Many people are still living on the surface, either because they haven't yet awakened to deeper truths, or because they're afraid of what they might find if they look too closely at themselves. This mismatch between what you seek and what others are ready to give creates a gap that's difficult to bridge. As a result, you may feel like an outsider at times, someone who doesn't quite belong in the typical social circles or romantic relationships. But this isn't a flaw in you. It's a reflection of your elevated frequency and your soul's need for depth, authenticity, and truth. While it may seem like a lonely path, it's actually leading you toward the kinds of connections that your spirit truly desires and deserves. Your solitude is not a sign of lack. It's a form of protection and preparation. It's keeping your energy reserved for people who are capable of meeting you where you are. People who can see you, value you, and walk beside you with the same level of depth and honesty. Most people are neither ready nor willing to dive into the depths where the chosen ones naturally dwell. They prefer to remain on the surface, where things feel safer and more predictable. The emotional and spiritual depth that radiates from a chosen one can be intimidating for those who are still anchored in superficiality. For them, your presence might feel intense, too intense, because it brings up things they aren't ready to face. Whether it's truths they've avoided, pain they've buried, or questions they've never dared to ask, your energy has a way of stirring the waters. The sheer intensity of your presence, your passion, your unwavering dedication, your deep sense of justice and truth can feel overwhelming to those unaccustomed to such powerful energy. It's not that you intend to unsettle anyone. It's simply that your authenticity and light expose the shadows others try to hide. And when people feel exposed, they often become uncomfortable. They may begin to feel insecure, inadequate, or simply out of place, rather than rise to meet the vibration you carry. Many will choose to withdraw, keeping a safe emotional distance from something they cannot fully understand or control. This depth of soul, the very thing that makes you extraordinary, is both a gift and a challenge. It's the source of your insight, your empathy, your ability to love deeply and lead with purpose. But it can also be the reason you walk alone more often than not. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because not everyone is prepared to meet you at that depth. True companionship, for someone like you, requires not just emotional availability, but also a readiness to engage on a soul level. Yet, it's important to remember, this kind of depth also serves as a natural filter. It ensures that the people who do enter your life, those who stay, are genuinely aligned with who you are. They aren't repelled by your intensity, they're inspired by it. They don't fear your truth, they recognize it as their own. And when those soul-level connections do arrive, they are worth every moment of solitude you've endured. So, my dear friends, let this message serve as a sacred reminder. The loneliness experienced by the chosen is not a punishment, nor is it a burden to be feared. Instead, it is a profound blessing, a divine preparation for something far greater than what the eyes can see, or the mind can yet comprehend. To be chosen means to be set apart, refined, and spiritually aligned for a purpose that transcends ordinary existence. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is shaping your soul, strengthening your inner core, and aligning your life with a higher destiny. This path may feel heavy at times. It demands solitude, deep introspection, and the willingness to face your own shadows. It requires healing, sometimes painful, always transformative. But remember this, being alone does not mean being abandoned. In truth, you are being drawn closer to your divine essence, stripped of all that is not meant for you, and guided toward the light of your true calling. This sacred solitude is not empty, it is rich with purpose. It offers you the space to rediscover who you truly are without the noise and interference of the world. It is a season for growth, for spiritual attunement, and for preparing the ground for the relationships, missions, and blessings that are destined to come into your life at the right time. So walk this path with your head held high and your spirit rooted in faith. Trust the process, embrace the stillness, and know that the loneliness of the chosen is simply the quiet before the divine unveiling of your greatness. Prepare yourself, mind, heart, and spirit, for the kind of love and relationships that genuinely resonate with your soul. The loneliness you may feel right now is not permanent. It is part of a sacred process, clearing the path for a future where your light will be honored, and your energy cherished by those who truly see and understand the depth of who you are. If this message speaks to your spirit, I invite you to affirm it by leaving a comment below and liking the video. Your engagement not only helps this message reach others through the algorithm, but it also strengthens the bond within our growing community of chosen souls. Together, we are rising in purpose and unity. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Until next time, stay grounded, stay radiant, and remember, you are never truly alone. Your journey matters deeply, and the light you carry is needed now more than ever in this world. Never underestimate the impact of your presence or the power of your growth. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel for more insights on spirituality, healing, and soul evolution. Until we meet again, walk in peace and light. And always remember, you are a masterpiece in progress. Already whole, already divine, yet still unfolding, healing, and becoming more with every step you take. Stay radiant, stay faithful to your path, and thank you for being here.